Hi everyone, Dr. Ed here from EPS. Today I want to talk about something that we all experience, and that is the topic of difficult thoughts. For some of us, these difficult thoughts may be fleeting. They come in and leave as quickly as they came. For others, we end up finding ourselves struggling or wrestling with these thoughts. And these thoughts can take on sort of a script or the soundtrack to our everyday experiences. And so I wanted to use sort of a silly analogy to provide a different way of handling these difficult thoughts. And so this is my analogy. Imagine that you're at a dinner, whether it's a family function or maybe it's a professional dinner. If you're anything like me, at a certain point you're going to look down and you're going to notice most likely that there's a stain on your shirt. So imagine I look down and I see that there's an oil stain or some other sort of stain on my shirt. Again, if you're like me, what will likely happen is your mind immediately would say something like, "Oh, Ed, how come this happens to you all the time? How come you're the only one that can't eat properly? Everyone else is going to notice." As soon as I'm caught up in paying attention to that stain and saying these things to me, I'm no longer engaged with what's happening around me. Whether it's someone telling a story, whether it's someone telling a joke, whether it's me just taking in the atmosphere. So I want you to take that analogy and hold it there. Now imagine, those difficult thoughts that we have at any given moment. Imagine that you're lying in bed and you're having these difficult thoughts, and maybe it's the night before a big presentation at work or a big exam, or maybe you just are telling yourself things like, "I'll never have the perfect body," or "I'll always be alone." And so I want you to think about that and pay attention to how much that takes up in terms of your attention and your focus. And then if we go back to me at the restaurant, again, if you have done what I sometimes do is I might say to myself, I can do something about that stain. And so I might ask for some club soda, or I might go to the washroom and try and sort of do something about the stain. And if you've experienced this before, most likely when you do that, what ends up happening is that I'm either like spreading out the stain a little bit more, or I'm leaving with a big noticeable sort of spot on my shirt. And so in many ways, as soon as I try to do something about this stain, it ends up being worse than if I had just let it be. And so I want you to go back to those difficult thoughts. And I want you to think about when you have these difficult thoughts, like we all do. I'm wondering if we could try something slightly different than what you've been doing up to this point. And what I'm asking you to do is what I should do when I see a stain is let it be. Notice that you're having the thought that these are words in your mind, and we're going to let it be. And as soon as you can do that and you start to notice these thoughts and let it be, you can now attend to what's important in that moment. Whether it is getting a good night's sleep, whether it's continuing to study or prepare, whether it's engaging with those around you. Okay, so I hope that made sense. And again, if anyone has any questions, any comments, please feel free to reach out. Our email is info@atopicopsych.com. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.